creator's game. This is College Lacrosse Gameday.
The question on everyone's mind is lacrosse subscribing to cancel culture. They canceled a lot of games this week, but they will never cancel us. We are College Lacrosse Gameday. Today, we name the first ever Hack of the Week, presented by Hackees. We discuss what is lacrosse season, and we play CLG Pick'em, powered by East Coast Dies with none other than ECD Greg, their president, founder, and steward of the medicine game. We'll catch up in 80 seconds, but first, the shot clock.
Saturday, January 31st, the Mormons scored more of them. On a short field, Utah beats up Delaware indoors 16-9.
Coming off a postseason snub in 2025, Army wins by 6 to start 2026, 14-8 over UMass.
Through a historically bad stream, Lax Rats watch Rutgers' Colin Kelly can the OT winner against Jacksonville, 11-10.
Sunday, February 1st, 10 Nittany Lions score in the opener. However, some troubles in cage. Penn State beats Colgate 18-14.
Strong start for Syracuse. John Mullen was 14-19 at the X. They handled BU 13-6.
Mid-major madness in Colorado. This was a dogfight, but Air Force lasers the Leopards of Lafayette 13-12. Welcome back. We're in the studio just shooting the shit. Week 0 was interesting. A lot to talk about. Some ups, some downs for the sport itself, for specific teams, but nevertheless, we are off and running. It is 2026. We're headed into week 1 now. Big episode planned for you guys, but just want to catch up first. I want to start with Mr. Fry. You had a eventful weekend, didn't you?
I did.
Where'd you go?
I was down in Tampa, Florida. Played in my first ever hockey game. You know, got to go support the Travis Roy Foundation and go down to Tampa and play in a charity hockey event. Never played in a hockey game before. Never even put hockey pads on and skated before. Like, the only thing I've done is played pond hockey. So I was playing in a pretty competitive game. You know, it wasn't extremely competitive, but guys were trying. There's some really good players. A lot of
NHL.
A lot of NHL players, former NHL players, a lot of good college players, a lot of club guys. To say the least, I was the worst on the ice by quite a bit. But the experience was very cool. Got treated like an NHL player. The locker room, played at Benchmark International, which is where the Tampa Bay Lightning play. So was treated like a professional hockey player, and we won. I was on Team Lightning. We played against Team Bruins. Yeah, we won. So I'm 1-0 in my career, which is great.
Do you have, I think the jersey needs to be framed in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, we got like full jerseys, socks, everything.
But just to put this in perspective, this was your first time at not playing in a hockey game, like playing organized hockey.
Right, first time ever. And we had a practice the day before, and it was eye-opening. I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I could skate, but just the speed and like doing drills that like, I don't know. I called Dan afterwards, and I was like, imagine like never playing lacrosse before, and you go to a lacrosse practice and they start doing West Jenny, and you're like, where the hell do I go? What am I supposed to do? And you're just like running through the middle of the drill. Like, you have no idea where you're actually supposed to be.
No.
Right? Like, you can follow everybody, but like, you don't know what you're doing. And that's what I felt like for the whole practice and the game.
And then once you do figure out what you're doing, you drop the pass or you.
Right. And then they change the drill, and it's like, oh, well.
I just learned that one. Yeah.
But no, it was a good experience. Went to the Bruins game, the outdoor game at Raymond James where the Bucks play, which was a cool experience. A great hockey game.
Great hockey
game. Yeah. Jeez.
Goalie fight.
Yeah. No, it was a good weekend.
Overtime shootout.
And with that, I still was able to watch some lacrosse. So full weekend. Yeah.
Nice. I had to ask you about that. I think when you told this story, it kind of made me realize I think lacrosse and hockey specifically, more so hockey, but like they're just the skill, not saying it's, harder than other sports, but to just pick it up on the fly is impossible.
Right.
It's such a unique and specific skill set. And if you don't have it, you just can't compete. You can't do anything.
Yeah. Skate.
And I think like lacrosse is easier to pick up. I don't know if you're trying to make that comparison, but like with hockey, like you got to be a great skater. You don't have to be great, but like, you got to be good enough. Like I could only go one way. Like I can only really like go left. Right.
Yeah,
You got to
right.
be able to like change on a dime. You got to be able to go as fast as you can, stop on a dime.
Right.
Like lacrosse is a little more easy to pick up. But
you got it like
You got to be able to catch and throw, or else
Right.
you literally can't do anything.
right. But that's one thing you got to learn, opposed to like 2 or 3 in hockey. You know.
with hockey. It's like you got to be able to skate.
The other underrated thing in hockey is
Gotta
being
be able
able
to
to skate and like carry the puck with your head up. Like
Yeah.
I was skating and like carrying the puck, but like my head was down, and like it moves so quick that by the time you look up, like you're lost.
It's like high level
There's like
lacrosse.
someone in your face,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
the
It's
guy
like-
moved 20 feet.
It's like high level lacrosse. Got to dodge with your head up.
I couldn't stop laughing about it. I mean, I just like even if someone had done a clinic when they were in 4th grade, a hockey clinic in 4th grade, they would have been light years ahead of where you were.
Right.
Just
Right.
for 2
You
hours.
just have like some feel of it. You know?
yeah, you've at least tried it before.
It was a good experience, so glad I did it.
Yeah, shout out to the Travis Roy Foundation and SCI Boston. That's Spinal Cord Injury Boston. If you don't know the Travis Roy story, look it up. Inform yourself. Great story about a great man and a great family. Thanks all for being back. Week 0, lot to talk about. Big takeaways. Mike, I'll start with you. But a lot to discuss. A lot of cancellations. A lot of things that lax brats like ourselves were not thrilled about. Mike, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest takeaway, I mean, if you're on any social media platform, is just how many cancellations there were, and all the conversation about what do we do with the season, what is the optimal thing for the viewer, for the player, for everything. But before that, because we could talk about it forever, there was one stream that you already mentioned that I thought was hilariously bad, which was the Rutgers Jacksonville stream, and it was a great game. The stream was so bad it was borderline unwatchable. The probably the biggest thing was the replays. After every goal, there was a replay. The commentary, the live commentary when that goal happened, would be in the replay as the announcers were still talking after the play. So it was a migraine waiting to happen. Like it was, if I didn't love the game as much as I do, I would watch that and be like, I'm never watching this again. It was that bad. So I have to make that comment.
Yeah.
First.
I think with that game, I think they might have been trying out like an AI camera that like follows
Makes sense.
the play, which I like. I don't know if they were doing that, but like that's a thing that like teams use for practices, so you don't need someone to film. But like it would be on the offensive end, and then it would just pan over to the defensive end with no action going on. So
Well,
I don't know.
They had one camera that covered like just in front of the net and behind it, and then the ball would come up top, and they wouldn't shift fast enough, and they would go to somebody who's like moving, but they wouldn't interlock, like they wouldn't. It wasn't transitioning right.
Yeah.
So that was rough.
But honestly, the crazy thing was that was one of the better streams of the weekend. Like like it was bad, but like it was good enough where like you could watch it, but like there was so many streams that were just like unwatchable.
Duke Bellarmine.
That didn't even happen.
Yeah, Duke Bellarmine and the Penn State Colgate one were similar, where there was kind of a distant camera with no commentary or scoreboard. The Penn State one, at least they'll pan to the actual score every now and then, so you had some idea. Duke Bellarmine, I didn't know what the score was for a while. I had a good guess, and my guess was right, but it was a difficult week for the viewers and the players too. I mean, you're getting ready to go play in 20 whatever degree temperature, low 30s. I mean, hell, Duke, like. Never seen snow in the field at a Duke game.
Yeah.
They played on some turf field I've never seen before, and the entire field behind it is covered in snow. You don't see that.
Yeah.
That honestly makes me think Duke's gonna have a good year. That is the grittiest thing I've ever seen from Duke.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some
I do
snow.
also want to say one thing about the streams. Like, I feel like there was so much negativity towards the streams, and like, rightfully so in a sense. But one guy who deserves a shout out is Kevin Brown, Inside Lacrosse on Twitter. He streamed the Delaware-Utah game indoors on Friday. I think we probably all tuned into that. The craziest thing to me was on his stream that he was streaming through his iPhone, there was like, at times, like over 5,000 viewers on that stream. And it's like, there's that many people going to Twitter and like clicking this link, finding wherever it is, and watching this game. That's like, as best as a guy can do from his iPhone.
Yeah.
And there's 5,000 people on it. I was like, oh my God. I like clicking into it. I was like, there's going to be like 10 of us on here. And you could see in the top corner, it was like fluctuating between like 3,000 and 6,000 viewers at any given time. I was kind of amazed by that. So
I couldn't even find it. Kevin Brown.
yeah. you had to look for it. Like, it wasn't easily accessible, you know?
Little lax rat, Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my topic from this week was the Utah-Delaware game. They played on a short field. I don't know. I don't have a report from whoever was there, but like it looked like
Is it a yardstick?
it looked like when you play youth basketball and there's you play at your local elementary schools or churches or whatever, and some of the 3-point lines are like
At least
touching
in
the-
Sudbury, that's what we did.
Yeah. Some of the 3-point lines are like touching the half court line, and it is what it is. It's just the courts are different
The
sizes.
Fidelity House.
Yeah, the Fidelity House.
Yeah.
And,
The side of the benches were like church pews.
we still got the cross behind the hoop. Yeah, no, I mean that was a short field. I don't know if you guys watched the game at all, but if you watch the highlights, like it is like every goal is a cause turnover in a ride and just downhill. And we'll get to Panino, who was a stud in that game, but it was interesting. And I'm going to say it, I kind of enjoyed it. When you watch a big lacrosse game and they go to clear the ball at a high level, teams are very successful at clearing, and the rides are sometimes, some teams don't take a lot of pride in riding. They just get their guys on for that defensive possession. Maryland, exactly. They trust their defense. They don't have to ride, but it makes the clear mean something, and it makes every second a little more
Intense.
valuable, intense. It's the PLL model to some extent, short in the field, but did you guys have an opinion on that or watch it all? I mean, Kevin Brown was our only gateway.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. Like, just the decision making that these guys who don't handle the ball that often in games, like your poles and your D middies, like the decision making that they have to make just speeds up just a hair, just because the field's smaller, and by the time you catch it, like there's half a second more for an attackman to get in your face or a riding midi or whatever. So I think like I agree with you. I like the speed of the game. I thought it was interesting, like when there was a turnover, like if you get it down to settled 6v6 and there was a turnover, like getting it over the midline and then down to the attack was like in a second.
Yeah.
And they were like going. And I just felt like watching it from the angle that it was being shown at, like it felt like everything was tighter. Like the offense was almost playing like Sixes style, where like a good shots from like 8 yards,
Right.
not 12 yards,
Yeah. That's yeah. The up and down of it was fun. What I love is the two coaches knowing that they're playing in a shortened field and they look each other in the eye and shaking like, "You good? Yep, I'm good. Let's do it."
Yeah.
Those are lax rats. They just want to play. They just want to compete. They're competitors.
It's a long trip for Utah.
Played to their favor though. They're a fast team up and down, and they won. What was the final 16-9?
Something
Yep,
like that.
69.
Yeah. Good win. Hayden, any big takeaways from this week from you?
No, not really. I mean, I know it was like a crazy week, and games are getting canceled left and right. Like we were trying to deal with the pick'em, and I can't imagine what these teams are dealing with, like not knowing if you're going to play a day before the game, seeing all the other teams get canceled. But I will say, like with all of that happening, lacrosse survived, right? We still had streams to watch. We still had some great games, albeit not as many as we wished for, but we still had some great games. Week 0, typically like you don't expect a great slate week 0, and I thought that was a pretty good slate. There was some great finishes. Air Force Lafayette was a great finish. Colgate Penn State was a great game to watch. I loved watching Army UMass. I love schools adapting and going on YouTube to stream their games. Like that's what it's all about, surviving and adapting and trying your best to give fans an experience that, they can enjoy.
So we'll talk about Pick'em later. So we kind of did our beta week for Pick'em. So our first week, we already wiped out the scores. We just want to see if it friggin' worked because we're making an app. We're salesmen and project managers here, but we made an app and it worked. It worked great. And we had said before the season, there's going to be a prize for the, whoever comes in first nationally on a weekly basis. And we had I think over 150 users for that first week.
Yep, close to 200, which was great. It was a perfect sort of test group.
Who won?
I don't know who won, Hayden.
Who won, Hayden?
Yeah, it was a good week, Sometimes you're lucky,
CLG.
sometimes you just know, and it's week 0, so no one really knows, but some people do. It's a good week, though.
Because no one said it. CLG Hayden won. He was top of the leaderboard. I think he had 114 points out of 100 and I think it was 188 possible points because there was only 9 games to pick from.
Yeah.
And you got a 114.
And there was one wrinkle that had happened too, is some of the games pushed. And so initially we didn't know how to handle it. I called Hayden. He was like at the bar or something. I was like, what do we do? I think we determined that giving people 2 points, no matter the spread, whatever, if it pushes, you get 2 points. Because if you pick the winner and then you didn't get the spread, you would get everything. It would just count it. And that's really not fair. So that's why you got 2 points, or that's why your points were removed. Yeah. So just think about that.
And if it pushes, everybody gets 2 points.
Right, because you got to pick.
You know, you're not gaining or losing anything.
Yep.
Vegas is on. I'll say that. I mean,
Sure.
That was another thing. That can be a quick takeaway. Like, the lines were amazing. Like,
yeah, they're great.
They all came within like 1, or like at least out of our 10 games, I think like 7 of them were like right on the spread.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I mean,
Well, that was the whole
Mike.
thing, right? Historically, especially week 0, week 1, Vegas hadn't really caught up to lacrosse yet. Any lax rat really knew, like, that's come on, easy money.
Right.
It's where everybody
This
made their money.
Week 0, there really weren't that many options of games, but still, all the lines were pretty tough to pick.
And
Scary
especially
for us.
especially when you're
Scary.
playing for free, right? When you're not gambling through the app but just playing for fun, it kind of gives you an idea. It's like maybe you should wait a couple weeks and see what people are made of before you start putting your money on it. And I feel like using our app is a way to do that, to kind of be like figure out who you want to bet on moving forward, because it's not a betting app, it's for fun. So
but you get to pick against spreads, which is the fun part.
yeah,
Dan,
definitely.
I got a few more things from this weekend, a few more takeaways if we don't mind getting into them.
What? Pick your best one, or maybe
Best
2.
one?
Yep, best takeaway, biggest takeaway.
Okay. Well, I'll do 2. One small one. The Iona Hofstra stream was absolutely hilarious. If anyone tuned into that, it was on Iona's website, and it was really no commentary. All you heard was the camera was right where all the parents were. So you literally heard lax parents the entire game. There was some guy who would yell Iona at the top of his lungs every like 5 minutes. Some dad. And it was the funniest thing I ever heard.
Awesome war cry. Iona.
Echo. It was the same every time too. The other one too, and I don't want to harp on it too much, but there were a lot of conversations, especially on X, about if we were to move the season, what would that look like? And there were 3 scenarios that I feel like most people came up with. Again, this probably won't happen, but one of them was you push it back 2 weeks to Valentine's Day. You still have 13 to 14 weekends to play lacrosse, and that doesn't include playing during the week. So you could still get a full season in. The other one was push it back 2 weeks and then also push the end of the season back 2 weeks. So Memorial Day weekend is now not the national championship. It could be the quarterfinal and the semifinal. The national championship is the following weekend with all D1, D2 teams, something like that. The third was Peacock's tweet, which got a lot of traction. I don't know if you guys read that.
Yep.
But essentially what it was is you keep the season the same time frame it is now, but for the month of February, there's 4 neutral sites every weekend. And there's 9 to 10 games each weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you capture all of the teams. There might be one team that has a bye, but these are at different neutral sites throughout February. It's a big event. All the teams go. It satisfies everyone's schedules, and then we don't have any cancellations. And it could be really good for streaming and whatnot, ticket sales, blah, 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 blah. That was Peacock's idea.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going around about how we could make it better, because there's a lot of room to do that.
Yeah. No, I saw all those 3, but yeah, Peacock's like really took off, and a lot of people are talking about it because it is a great idea.
It is.
It'd be similar to what the D3 does with the Mustang Classic, where you get 10 teams together and you start games at 9 a.m. in the morning and they go all the way to 8 p.m., right? And you play back to back, and it's one weekend in a nice weather location, and everybody gets 2 games. Like, I think it's a great idea. For us, it'd be amazing. Like, imagine this past weekend we go down to Naples, Florida, and we watch 10 lacrosse games. It'd be amazing. So I love that idea. I also heard some backlash on it, Mike, where like organizationally, it'd be a lot for these teams. You know, like not just the teams getting there and rearranging their schedules and having to do the planning way before the season starts, but also for the athletic departments and the media people and all of that. So that was like some of the backlash I heard, but like I love the idea. I think that'd be a great way to start the lacrosse season.
Very interesting.
They have to call it a jamboree, though.
Yeah.
Right. I know, like college basketball
crab
does it.
feast.
They do like
Yeah.
invitationals.
They
And,
do
like,
invitationals.
6
That's how
teams
they
go
start.
down.
That's how they start their season. Like
Yeah.
the Maui one's really like the Hawaii one's like probably one of the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's
Get
an
a big
idea.
ti-
Other
get
sports
a-
do it.
Get a big title sponsor and just have them try to pay for a bunch of it.
Gatorade or something.
Yeah, Gatorade.
Ball out.
Yeah, not us. Certainly not us. Don't forget to like, follow, all that stuff. We're going to move on to Hack of the Week.
Next segment is officially sponsored by Hackees. This is the Hack of the Week segment. We touched on it a bit, but popular lacrosse media does not cover the defense, right? The gritty players, the ground balls, the goalies, the takeaways, the caused turnovers. So with Hackees, we have created this segment to highlight a couple of players, poll a couple of players every week. If you don't know anything about Hackie's basically a way for people to get off of screens, get outside, make lacrosse more accessible, stylish, fun, and really get a more affordable way to get into the game. So we're big fans of these guys. You'll see more content about Hackees in the future. These 3 nominees we have pulled. One was Nico DiPonio from Utah. The second was Cullen Brown of Ohio State. And the third was Cole Cunningham of Air Force. The winner through that poll, congratulations, was Nico DiPonio. Congratulations.
That's Nico.
Nico, we were DMing back
Inaugural.
and forth.
Inaugural, first ever.
Complete
First.
beast. If you win this, we will be collaborating with you on Instagram, and if we can get an address, Hackees will send you some gear. So, Mike, I will let you talk about Nico briefly and what you saw. It was an excellent game from him.
Absolutely. All of the Hack of the Week nominees, absolute studs. They're going to have great years. But yeah, Nico, we don't vote on this, but you would have had my vote as well. Not only was it the first game of the season, which I think, helps a little bit as far as excitement goes. First close to defenseman goal of the season. Eye-popping stats, 1 goal, 6 caused turnovers, 6 GBs. I can promise you I never did that in my career. I don't know about you, Dan. Lefty close defenseman stays home, true of me. 46, very close to 49 is his number. But I mean, if you watch that game through Kevin Brown's phone or the highlights, you would catch him. He was all over the field. In Utah's ride, they put him dead center and just let him run around. And he obviously has a knack for creating absolute havoc. Very athletic, go with the stick, and can score in transition, which is everything you can really ask for in that type of game plan. But I think the most important thing too is, I don't know about you guys, I never heard of Nico prior to this year. And he's got some accolades. He's super under the radar, just like Utah is. Last year, he was 2025 ASUN Defensive Player of the Year, 2025 All ASUN First Team, 2025 All-American Honorable Mention, 2024 Inside Lacrosse Honorable Mention, All ASUN First Team in 2024, and he was on the All Freshman Team in 2023, and he's a captain this year for Utah. So, I mean, I never heard of him. Obviously, he got the spotlight in the first game of the year, and I'm glad he did because he's obviously a great player and going to have a good year and could possibly be a pro player as well if that's what he wants to do. So, congrats, Nico.
Beast.
You're a Hackees. You're a hacky. You're a nail gun for sure. I got to keep the nail gun in there a little bit too. All right.
Hack of the week.
Hack of the week.
Excellent.
Congrats, Nico. That's gonna watch Utah this year. The ASUN, man. Air Force hot start, Utah hot start, beating up on a A10 and a Patriot League team, respectively. Hot start for the ASUN. Nico will be watching you all year long, and hacks, keep hacking, and maybe you'll be the hack of the week. Greg.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Excellent. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
How's the show been so far?
It's good. It's good. We got through our first half, so you're gonna take us home with the back half. Fired up to have you on, though, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great. Really excited to announce a big partnership. Got some picks ready. Been doing some research. My picks have been off. We all were heavy on Hampton for the first W today, and that we were taking money lines, spreads, it was a massacre out there. So hoping to get a little hotter than that. It's bad.
Greg,
Yeah,
is that the home office there?
This is my office.
Oh, okay.
I'm at work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're close to home.
Yeah.
Are you
it's,
or no?
It's
Okay,
not far
good.
away at all. No, it's
Good,
not
because
bad.
you're like, I gotta let my wife and my kids know I'm gonna be gone. So I appreciate that sacrifice.
Yes, I have 4 very small children at home that I'm hoping aren't going absolutely nuts while I'm gone.
There you go. Good stuff. You got to get them doing some GB drills in the living room or something.
We
Tire
were
'em
in
out.
here over the weekend because everything's covered in snow here with my boys doing some GB drills
Yeah.
because they can't catch so good. So all we can do is GBs at the moment. Yeah.
Nice. Just to kick it off, like Hayden and I were probably again, not to make you feel old, but Hayden and I were probably in 3rd grade when we started watching your videos, encouraging us how to string. You know, like where were you in your life when you started making content, and just kind of share a bit about how you made the transition between, you know, being a club player and doing what you do now. What's the genesis of ECD Greg?
Yeah, I mean, if you zoom back to when we started, 2010, 2011, like YouTube had just started. People certainly barely knew about it. It was just starting to become a little more mainstream. It certainly wasn't a career for anyone, and there certainly wasn't a lot of lacrosse. If you zoom back to that era, the videos were few and far between. So I don't even remember why I decided to put things on YouTube or turn the camera on. I had a laptop with a webcam. It was like late at night. The first video was in my bedroom. And I guess it just hit me like, why don't I just record some stringing video and pop that thing on YouTube? I have like amnesia. I can't even remember why or it happened. But so for a lot of things with ECD, it was never a grand plan. There was never a business plan. It's always just been run by the seat of our pants. I graduated college with a degree in accounting. I got my master's degree in accounting. I passed the CPA exam. And the path was very much to go into public accounting. And I even worked a year or 2 in accounting while I was making wax mesh in the basement at night. I would work during the day, I would coach at night, I'd go to grad school classes at night, and then late at night I would make mesh in this super creepy basement in this house we lived in. And that went on for a little while in 2011 into 2012 when we hired a couple friends, my twin brother, to help us out in the house. And then the wax mesh thing kind of exploded at the same time social media exploded in like 2014 when Instagram started. So this business would have never been possible without the spread of social media, the spread of stringing influence and like learning how to string. That was all very pivotal. So it was like this happenstance of all these things converging all at the same time and just somewhat being in the right place at the right time. So then we grew it, shafts, heads, all this stuff, more media, but still trying to keep that like startup grassroots feel to it, even though it's been 15 years.
Yeah. There's one video in particular that's just like ingrained in my mind is, I think it was like one of your early videos when you like dyed like a checkered head, and it was like, I don't know, it was like white and blue. I think it was like an Evo or something, and you strung it up. And that was like one of the first like heads, like really well done dyed heads I've ever seen, and also like really well strung heads that I've ever seen. It was like, whoa, like I didn't even know a lacrosse stick could look like that. And that was like, for me, that was the start of like when I started stringing and like trying to learn how to do it. And I don't know, it's pretty amazing to see what like you went from like back then just making YouTube videos to having, you know, arguably the top lacrosse line in the industry.
Yeah, I remember that video. I that head broke and I threw it away. I wish I had it. I had a replica done on one of our mirages we made, but
Really?
yeah, again, it was just like there's this desire for knowledge about the lacrosse stick since it is so customizable and specific. Like this stuff doesn't happen, sure, in baseball and football. There's like cleat reviewers and baseball bat reviewers, but there's no way to customize those things. So this extremely niche seeming product just appeals to so many because the stick is so personal. It's a hobby for a lot of people, even if they're not that into it. And it's a complex piece of sporting equipment, if not the most complex piece of sporting equipment, that it requires tons of parent knowledge in new areas like Texas, like California. Like imagine being a parent who didn't play lacrosse, trying to take your kid through like putting a stick together. Like it's really hard to do. So it's this combination of education and entertainment that I think really worked for us.
And there are so many different people who I think through just watching you growing up have created their own sort of like stringing empires, right? There's people popping up all the time. It's on our feeds. Like, does that make you feel good seeing all of that and seeing people's unique twists? Like, are you aware that you sort of started this, regime of independent stringers?
Yeah, I mean, it was like thousands of string accounts, and I try to follow a lot of them, but there's literally 10 new ones every single day. And so I encourage like kids come to me and they're like, what can I do to like start a lacrosse business? I'm like, start a stringing company in your town, string for your 20 people around you, and get that. Like, you can get that to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people easily. That's a little business, and you put that on your resume, you start your own business, and it's just the easiest way to start. And I tell people, starting local, everyone wants to get online, like. And when I started, it was local. I put listings on Craigslist, and people came to the house and dropped their stuff off in 2011. I'll never forget. This dad found us on Craigslist or Facebook, dropped his kid off at the house, and just left. And this kid was here for like 2 hours, and I'm like teaching him how to string. It was like, at some point, like, is this dad going to come back and get this kid? And why did he leave him with this random 22-year-old? Like, no background information. It was crazy. But yeah, and then those kids go and they like create this little community, in their local area with their friends.
So it's such a, you bring up a good point in the just custom, like what stringing lacrosse sticks is to lacrosse and how unique it is from a sports perspective. I can't compare it to anything. I think you said football cleats. I really can't think of anything. Like maybe like a baseball glove. I think you got to string those to some extent. Maybe there's comparisons.
Hockey
I'm
stick with tape. Now. I mean, there just isn't a lot.
Yeah. And there's nothing that's really like as important as the stringing of a lacrosse stick. No. Like, we all coach youth lacrosse, and every time you get a new kid to sign up, right? Like, they buy, the cheapest stick that they can find, and the second it rains, the thing bags out and they can't throw, and then they hate lacrosse because their stick doesn't work, right? And like, I know for us, like when you get your first really well-strung stick, it's like, wow, this makes a huge difference. But the reality is there's so many kids who are just beginning and just don't really know any better that they're not getting great products, and it's really like limiting the growth of the game. Like, I've seen a handful of kids just not like lacrosse, and I can tell a big reason of that is because their stick doesn't throw. And like every time they want to catch, the ball pops out, or their pocket is bagged and they just throw right into the ground, and there's just like nothing you can really do unless you go and restring it. So I know that like one of the great things that you do is like you or ECD is kind of like rolled out this line of starter sticks that are good to go right off the rack. Like, was that kind of a priority for you, or like how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, that's where we thought we could fit in well with that low end niche, because we didn't want to just make another junky stick. My least favorite saying in lacrosse is it's not the wizard, or it's not the wand, it's the wizard, right? Because it absolutely can be the wand. Like, I string for a lot of really good players who don't realize that they could literally be better at the sport if their pocket was better. And then there's a lot of kids who are hampered by their pocket because it snaps off the shooting strings. It doesn't, so they're altering their throwing motion. Like, it literally does affect your play in a significant way. So when we did beginner sticks, we wanted something easy to play with. We made one for $100. Like, I have personally strung thousands of these beginner sticks, and so is my brother, and so is everyone here. They're strung by people who know how to string. I'm stringing one of our $100 sticks. Like, as I was waiting to come in. Like, this will end up on the shelf at Dick's Sporting Goods, and a kid will buy it. So the idea that you can now go into a big box store and get a head that was strung by somebody who knows what they're doing, rather than somebody in China, is kind of nice.
Yeah, I as a leader, I think that says a lot about you, because I would assume there's people in China who you had a Zoom call with, about 100 people, who you just said, okay, guys, here's how we're going to do it. This string through this hole, but look at you. You're still stringing sticks. Yeah. Still working your butt off. I think that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
That was actually a question I had.
2006 year, probably.
Like, all the sticks that you guys sell in Dick's, like even from your beginner sticks to your, higher end sticks that come ready to go, like those are all hand strung by ECD.
Yeah, every head's made in Maryland. Every pocket is strung in Maryland. We got a guy last year that strung 10,000 heads. 1 year. God. 1 year, 10,000 heads, which is just, dude's a freak.
Are his hands just shredded?
He seems like he's doing okay. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't keep that up for long.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like initially when we were chatting, and we'll obviously get into the partnership and everything, but I remember you were trying to share your screen or something, and you're like, dude, I don't know how to share my screen. Like, I don't have any Zoom calls. Like, I have 30 guys. We're in office every day. like as a small business owner, especially in lacrosse, like how important is it to you that you're on site, that you're working, collaborating, just like talk about the culture that you've built at ECD?
Yeah, I mean, we were remote during COVID for like 2 months, and everyone was miserable. We have a great group here, and literally, like a third of my day is just like moseying around, just having like yesterday the Salisbury Eastern game was on, and it was a riot. Everyone was just packed in the office watching this insanely low budget Division III stream. But I think it's one of the reasons that we do well in product development. Everyone's here, like ideas iterate very quickly. Everyone plays, everyone's young. And like I still go out on the field. I think a lot of the executives I compete with, they don't even see a lacrosse field in a regular year, I bet. Nonetheless, film or string or play. And I just think we're so much more connected to the sport. I mean, if you look like my touch points, I've got kids that play, I play men's league, I string heads for players, and I film the game. So it's just like so much more involved than I think a lot of our competitors are, who for a lot of people it's just desk job, it's just office job. Like they don't love it like we do.
The memes that are coming out of ECD.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
No,
is that
that's
your buddy?
that's
Who's doing
Winston, who sits catty corner to me. Went to Colorado College and then played at Mount St. Mary's for a year. And the memes are great. If you have seen some of our social content and said, like, I really like that, that was Winston. He makes the most bizarre posts that really like resonate with, I think, our demographic,
Right.
especially slightly older.
Yeah.
No, he's crushing it. Then I just like your brand specifically. I think we talked about your organization, your culture, but you specifically, when it's College Lacrosse Saturday in lacrosse season, like you're posting what games are on, you're talking about streams, you do so much just on game day to be like, guys, it's happening. Let's go watch it, go see the games. I'm at this game. You're filming videos at a D3, D1 scrimmage. Like you're all over the place. And I think that has more to do with your passion and love for the sport than it does your admiration to grow your business. So I like, how much do you love lacrosse? Because it bleeds through in everything we see.
Yeah, I mean, none of that is directly advertising anything that you're going to buy from us. We don't sponsor those colleges. They don't use our stuff. They use our competitors' stuff. So it's like a 90-10 model. Like 90% of the stuff we do is just getting the brand out there, getting the facial recognition out there, and just getting involved in the lacrosse world. And then we hope to build the audience so that when the 10% of time comes that we want to ask you to buy a product, you're willing to listen. People hate ads. They hate product ads. So all of our content's not even a product ad disguised as content. Literally, it's just content. Like if you watch our newest Delaware Utah video, I don't mention one thing that we sell. I don't even show one thing we sell. But those people then subscribe, they follow us, they like the brand, they trust it, and then when it's time to buy some stuff, they maybe come back to the crab logo, maybe they don't, maybe they're just a fan, and we're okay with that too. But it's kind of the trade-off. I think some of the older people in their industry have that old school vibe, like you got to beat people over the head with their selling points, and that's just not the case anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. You guys have any Lax Rack questions before we dive into pick 'em? I know it's late, and Greg, we appreciate you being on. You got 4 kids, you told us, and it's almost 8 p.m. So I want to be cautious of your time.
No, this is great.
What's your men's league career like right now? Are you playing like once a week? Is it like super competitive, or like how's your game right now?
Yeah, we play late on Mondays, like 9:00 on Mondays. I'm playing in Masters. That's 28 plus, which sounds old, but then I look in the mirror. I'm like, I'm 36. I'm literally the oldest dude on the field. But I don't feel 36. Last year, my brother tore his ACL playing men's league. Sort of sent like a ripple of fear through my heart. So I took a little break and I played this country pickup out where I live, which was great. I'm like the best player on the field, number 1 draft pick. It's an elite feeling. We play on grass. I'm extremely slow. But yeah, 9:00. We got some good guys on our team. We gotta make some more content about our men's league team. And then the young guys, they always want me to come do some stupid video with their open team, which in Maryland, open is a nightmare. Basically, in the summer run of the who's who of Division I lacrosse. So I avoid that at all costs.
I guess on that, like I know you have that like little turf area in your office that you guys make a ton of content on. Like, are you playing every day? Like, do you think you've gotten better, like since that's been in your office, or like since college or whatnot?
That's a good question. I mean, I've definitely gotten better since college. I was undeveloped and small and young. I only turned 21 my senior year in college. I graduated at 21. So I've gotten like more physically developed since then and can shoot the ball better. But like that in there is like its own separate paradigm. Like on the turf, I like sting corners and I feel like I don't miss. And then I'll go to a game and shoot and literally miss the goal by 5 feet. Like I've never done that. One time, I take thousands of reps a year. I think because it's just small and confined, you have no feel for like the whole rest of the field. It's like a simulation. So stuff happens in there that I've never done on the field. So I mean, I probably just handle the lacrosse stick more than most people my age. So for that reason, I have decent stick skills, and I'm not in horrible shape.
Yeah.
For a 36-year-old dad of 4.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, do we want to dive into games or?
Well, that's it. I mean, should we announce the partnership?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited this year to sponsor the Pick'em and the eventual bracket challenge. I love a Pick'em, and when the guys told me they had this nice website set up for a Pick'em, it looks fantastic. So every week we're going to give away a prize and promote the Pick'em. We'll give away a season prize too. We have to tune into our social on College Lacrose Gameday, see what the prize is for that week, and then whoever our top points earner for that week is going to get the prize. So week 1, we had to pull out a good one. This is my office. This is my prized monochromatic seafoam green, never released ion. I will put a medallion in there with the solid color mesh. So this is a gem. You haven't seen solid color mesh in a while. So this is going to go to our week 1 winner. It's a kind of a week 0 letdown. So week 1 we're going big. I have made most of my picks, and again I was ice cold earlier part of the week. So hopefully I can dial it up a little bit.
What a gift!
Yes,
unreleased.
Yes, the seafoam green did not come out.
Wow.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Seafoam green.
It's actually got glitter in it. You won't be able to pick it up on the stream, I don't think, but it's got a
God.
little shine to it.
So you were sprinkling the glitter in while you made it, or
Yeah, you
what?
just sort of like toss a little at them.
Yeah. No, we're really excited to work with you, obviously, and going to be putting a lot of content out. We just believe that there is a void within college lacrosse right now in terms of just gamifying it properly. Having something that you can invite your coworkers, your teammates, your coaches. I think we just aligned that, it's something that we could go and attack together, and then obviously, create a community around the podcast, get more exposure to us, and then obviously, we can make content to support you and your brand just because we're big believers. So, Dan, I'll let you sort of pioneer this, and let's get into it.
Oh yeah, that's a great introduction to the partnership. One more thing, if you're like my mom and dad listening to this maybe later down the line, you can start playing Pick'em whenever. You don't have to be in from the get-go. You'll see a leaderboard and points are going to stack up over the season, but you can start playing whenever with a chance to win a prize. Start a league with your friends, with whoever. Make a pool. Maybe you can fill in the blanks there. Pool with your friends. There can be some prizes. There can be some, you can have fun with this.
A little punishment, last place
with
punishment.
Yes, classic.
We have a whole series called Punishment Picks on YouTube you can take inspiration from for your punishments. Worst one was eat dog food like cereal with milk. So, an idea. Started out there.
I do that every morning. Not as bad as you think. All right, Greg, we're going to start with you, man. We're going through 10 games here. So how it works, I'll explain it again, explain it last week. 10 games. That's what shows up in the Pick'em app. So you have to pick the outright winner and the winner against the spread in each of these games. If you pick the correct winner, that is 5 points. If you pick the correct winner against the spread, that is 10 points. If you get both of them right for a specific game, you get 2 bonus points. So the maximum number of points you can get in a week is 195. It's really easy. We're about to do it right now, show you exactly how it works. We're going to go round table with Greg, Hayden, and Mike on these games. But Greg, we're going to start with you Friday. We have Utah at Duke. Duke is a 6-goal favorite. This game's at 5 p.m. Who do you got?
I love a Friday night game. I love when the games get spread out. I'm dialed into a Friday night game. I'm going to go with Duke in this one. The tough thing about those throwaway games, those tune-up games, you get almost no information about the team. So Duke blew Bellarmine out, obviously. I think everyone thought that was going to happen. But I think they're kind of missing a lot of that star power. They returned Sloat, they returned Johnston. They have a guy I really like, Matt Christmas, who went to high school locally here at McDonough and Georgetown Prep at Pole. But I do find that sometimes these teams without the superstars, without the named players, kind of end up doing better. It just spreads the love a little bit. They got a couple freshmen, a couple transfers. Thomas Menke, lefty from UVA. I filmed him some through his career. So I think they'll take care of Utah. Utah did beat Delaware, but I didn't think they looked super strong. They look weak at the face-off X. And they've got some guys, but I think, not as much depth. So I think Duke will match up well with them defensively and sort of shut those top two guys down, which like Utah is a pretty heavy top two scoring offense. So I'm going to take Duke and I'm going to take the cover. 6 is a lot. I think Vegas usually nails these when it's up that high, but I'm going to take it.
We got double Duke for the first game from Greg.
Double Duke.
Mike, Fairfield at Lehigh. This one's on Saturday, 11 a.m. game, so you're going to be able to tune in for an hour uninterrupted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's 1.5. It's 1.5 Fairfield.
Thank you. Yep.
This one, Vegas, like we said earlier, is really, really getting great with these lines. It's a toss-up. It's
These
1.5
mid-majors
for a
are
reason.
so hard.
So, I mean, this is a complete... When I saw that I was doing this game, I was like, I have no freaking idea, especially in week 0. I have not seen either of these teams. I'm going to pick Fairfield to win, mainly because I think that they're a contender for America's team this year, just like they were last year. But I'm going to hedge my bet here and take Lehigh plus 1.5. So either way,
That's
I
a
think I'm gonna
narrow
get some
split, my
points.
friend.
It's quite.
It's a tight
It's
needle.
quite narrow. And that's really all. Besides that, I think that there could be a good matchup in this game. Luke Breslin of Lehigh, a lot of Scott Cole comparisons against our boy Julian Radicic of Fairfield. Probably will cover him, would be my guess. So a matchup to look at in this game. But yeah, I'm going Fairfield win, Lehigh to cover.
Love it. Love it. Hayden, next one. We got Michigan, 5.5 goal favorite at Marquette. This game's at noon.
Yeah, good game here. Greg, I kind of agree with you. Like, these first week kind of throwaway games are tough to really get a gauge on either team. Michigan beat up on Mercyhurst last week. I think they won 24-2. I think the story with Michigan going into the season was like, who's going to be their guy on offense, who's going to score the goals. Luke Shanahan got the start, a freshman attackman. He's the brother of Timmy Shanahan, who plays for BU, who was the Patriot League Rookie of the Year last year. Michigan is young, and they're I don't know if they're going to rely on Shanahan, but I did like what I saw against Mercyhurst. They have a lot of guys who can score. They're athletic. Marquette is always kind of one of those 500 teams, at least of the last couple of years. I think they went, just above 500 last year. They made it to the Big East tournament, lost to Georgetown in the semifinals. I don't know too much about Marquette. I do know that they got a new offensive coordinator in Andrew Smith's dad, who came over from Bates. He's a good coach. And Mason Woodward is also on the coaching staff. So he's been a pretty prolific PLL guy the last couple of years. So I think Marquette might be a little more up than they have been the last couple of years, but I'm going to go Michigan, double Michigan, Michigan winning, Michigan minus 5.5.
I'm on double Michigan. I like double Michigan.
Yeah.
They had a big win last year in this game. Marquette, let's not sleep on what they did last year in the Big East. Big East is nuts. You got Denver missing the Big East tournament last year. Marquette makes it.
At Denver, too.
At Denver.
Yeah.
At Denver. So rooting for Marquette nonetheless. Greg, hometown game for you. Loyola at Maryland.
Yeah,
Maryland's
I think
a
one of us might
7.5
try to
goal
go to
favorite.
this one. Yeah, 7.5
I love it.
goals is a lot. I am going to go straight to the double pick Maryland. I think this is a burial of Loyola. I just don't think they have what it takes to run with a stacked Maryland team. Maryland returns their top 2 scorers. They take Yale's top 2 scorers. That fills out all your depth right there. Immediately plug and play. They have the best guy on defense. I just think they're so rock solid. And, you want to talk about a fall from grace from Loyola, to go from winning the national championship to not even votes in the top 20 to having losing seasons. I just think it's the kind of school, and I'm not a huge Hopkins hater, but my take on Hopkins is that they're going to fall in the same bucket. It's the kind of school that is very difficult to recruit against when Michigan's and Ohio State's and Penn State's are out there just, showing off a crazy recruiting experience. It's just not the kind of school that's picking up the top dogs anymore. And I think Maryland beats the piss out of Loyola.
Wow. Wow. Strong take. You just might have made some enemies at Loyola.
Big shout out Loyola. My guy Jacob Stover, huge fan, family friend, went to Loyola in their glory days. So
Yeah, Jacob.
Someone's going to throw a brick through your window in 20 minutes.
yeah,
if
I'm
Loyola
a Towson
wins,
guy too, so there's a little bit of rivalry there as well.
If Loyola wins, you got to send them some of those seafoam ions.
If Loyola
Those would
wins,
look good
I'm
with them.
an extreme ownership guy. I'll totally come out and say totally cold take.
See, this is what it's like being on a podcast.
And I wish
now.
we could have seen that Georgetown game because I think Georgetown was going to beat them up too. That would really help support my take. It's a little unfounded at this time, but
Just imagine it. Yep. Next one, Mike, going to you here. St. Joe's at Syracuse. Cuse is a 6-goal favorite in this game, Saturday at noon. I think it's the first matchup between the two teams, at least in the Dome that I can remember.
Yep, BU was first time in the Dome, and I can't remember St. Joe's being in the Dome either. So I have to go the same mindset I went last week. I won these two picks. Cuse win, Cuse spread. I think BU's a better team than St. Joe's, and I do think St. Joe's is underrated. So now, Cuse has a game under their belt. St. Joe's is going for their first game away in the Dome. Very tough place to play. I would love if they kept it tight. New head coach, great shout. I do think a big factor in that BU game was how much John Mullen of Cuse dominated the face-off X. And St. Joe's has historically been good there. Zach Cole, the name, a friend of the podcast. But I see Syracuse dominating this game, unfortunately. I'm going to be there too as well.
Ooh.
I will shout that out. I will be there.
Nice.
So
in the Dome,
I will be for St. Joe's.
#1 attendance school. That Maryland game in the Dome is going to be a regular season attendance breaker for sure.
Nuts.
Yeah.
They had the most attended in years for their opener. I think it was 5,000 plus for a BU Syracuse game, because you're used to seeing for those first few games in the Dome that opposite side that the camera faces is pretty empty for the most part. Not
like 4,500, 5,400 or something.
Yeah,
it's like
5,400. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And say what you want about Syracuse. I know a lot of people were saying that they should have beat BU by more. I love that performance by Syracuse. I think they spread the ball around. Like, it wasn't all about Spallina. Like, their guys are still there. I think defensively, like, Riley Figueres was a stud. I think he's like a #1 cover guy next to Billy Dwan, which we didn't really think. I thought their D middies were great. John Mullen's a beast at the face-off X. Like, they're gonna be a tough team to beat this year.
Yeah, they have an Ohio State transfer at D mid who just looks like a gazelle. It's just fun. He runs everywhere.
D mid is the new elite position to play. It's the new power position. Everybody wants to be a D mid.
Careful what you wish for. It is it's a lot of work.
Not me. I don't want to be a D mid. Yeah.
Hayden, you get the next one. Bryant at Providence. This one is at noon on Saturday. Bryant is a 1.5 goal favorite.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's been officially announced, but this is probably going to be played in the indoor facility at Providence, where they played last week against Holy Cross. I really think like the teams that have one game experience in an indoor facility have a huge leg up on anybody, especially when it's home. You probably practice there every day, right? And you've already played a game in there. Like, you just have a feel for it. And I think Bryant going into Providence is going to struggle with it. Like, I know there's always these conversations about the lighting and playing in, closer confinements, but I do think it makes a difference. And I think Providence is really good this year. I think they've been on an upward trajectory the last couple of years. I think Richie Joseph is a stud. I like their win against Holy Cross. I'm going to take Providence winning and covering against Bryant.
Love it. That's a long-time rivalry game. We've seen it go both ways. Exciting. Greg, back to you. Army at Rutgers. This one's at 1 on Saturday. Army's a 2.5 goal favorite.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I went back and forth circling many times on this one because I'm a big Army fan. I want to root for Army. I'm going to go with the Rutgers spread and the Rutgers money line.
Wow.
I want to pick the home dog here. I think Army is good, and I don't have a lot of bases. This is like a gut pick. This is a vibes pick. I just think, the Plunkett brothers are obviously very, very good. Rutgers, again, like a decent roster, but nothing that stands out. I think people think it's going to be Rutgers and Hopkins like vying for the bottom 2 spots of the Big Ten this year, which probably will happen. But I think Rutgers takes this one upset. I like Corden Stoller in goal. I think he's rock solid. Fun fact, the top 3 scorers versus Jacksonville, all first name Colin. I thought that was interesting. So throw Rutgers both on my card for this one.
I couldn't disagree more, just to be completely honest. I love, this might be my lock of the week, is Army minus 2.5. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I could. Again, I'm totally split on this. I could definitely, but eventually, I just had to lock in on one. I love a little underdog, a little upset.
I mean, obviously, besides the stream being miserable, I just didn't see the athleticism from Rutgers. I just didn't see it.
I think with that though, like, people are underrating Jacksonville. Like,
Jacksonville's
Jacksonville is a
decent.
solid team. Like, again, another team that's just like
Well
been
coached.
growing the last couple of years. Very well coached. they have athletes. Like I played against a couple of them this summer, and I was like kind of blown away about how athletic they are. They're a warm climate team. Like they play year round. I don't know. I like Jacksonville, but Greg, I kind of agree with you. I think Rutgers is going to win this game.
I think that's going to be that's one of the hardest ones on the card.
Right. That's going to be a difference maker in the national poll or your league. You know?
Yeah, that's why we gave it to you, Greg. We didn't want to get that wrong and then look bad. So you're going to be the one who looks like shit.
Yeah. And also hated Loyola. So yeah, very hateable.
Yes. All right, next
Patriot
one's to
League.
Mike.
Dead to me.
Patriot. We got to root for the mid majors. It's part of our job, growing the game. Mike, Hopkins at Georgetown. Georgetown's a 2.5 goal favorite. This one's a 1 on Saturday.
I'm going to take Georgetown to win and Hopkins to cover. If you asked me this last week, I would have taken Georgetown to win and Georgetown to cover. But I can't just completely forget that Hopkins absolutely smacked Bobby Moe around. And I don't care what you say about the NEC. Bobby Moe is a solid team. They will do fine. They're going to have a decent year. They're not a bad team. So, yeah, I mean, Hopkins looked really good. Again, my dad thinks Georgetown's going to win the national championship. I'm going to keep saying that all year. And I think they're a really good team, too, especially on defense. I mean, it's going to be a lot different for Hopkins playing that Georgetown defense, Ty Banks, and the whole crew. I think Georgetown wins, but 2.5 goals scares me. So I'm just going to hedge here, too, and stick with that.
It's when you're playing this game, it's easy to, like when there's a pick'em, and I consider like a 2.5 goal spread like a pick'em. It's kind of like you want to pick, like I'm going to take the underdog in a lot of those situations and just root for a 1-goal game.
Or overtime.
That's just, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And just hope it comes down to the wire and I get it right just based off of that. And then picking the winner. I mean, that's the good part about this game. If you get the spread right, you get 10 points. If you get the winner right, it's just 5 because, you know, I think most people would obviously pick our next game, Penn State, to beat Villanova. But I don't know, just the beauty of it. Villanova at Penn State, Hayden. Penn State's a 5-goal favorite. This one's a 1 on Saturday.
Yeah, again, this will probably, I think this has been announced that this is going to be played inside, same location that Penn State played Colgate last week.
I don't know, Greg, have you been to the Penn State facility?
I have
Ever been to
not.
Penn State? It's, Mike, I don't know if you were there. Mike's reconnecting right now. It's one of the best indoor lacrosse facilities that you can play at. It is 100 yards of bleachers. They have a screen inside of the dome, like between the benches. There's like a mini jumbotron kind of situation going on. I played my first ever college lacrosse game in there, and since then it's only gotten better. They made it an awesome experience for everyone. It is, sorry to cut you off, but like it's a bummer the stream's not great because they could really sell that environment.
Yeah, some of those indoor places are sick. Armies was sick. I mean, a lot of these are really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You wouldn't be able to tell how nice Penn State is from the camera angle.
It's not pinched. Like you see, like one of the scrimmages, I think it was the Army one. They put the sideline was the football sideline, so they put the pylons in the corner on the football sideline. So that shrinks the field by like 7 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
10 yards.
Interesting. Well, yeah. So this is going to be played indoors at Penn State. Penn State beat Colgate 18-14 last week. I think. Again, like people were underestimating Colgate. Like they lost a ton in the Connor brothers, but they still have some studs. I think with Penn State, the biggest thing that they had to figure out, which everybody's talking about, is their goalie situation. They started a freshman goalie who did not do well. They pulled him about halfway through the game, started their backup. So that's just a dilemma. Like, you know, you start a freshman goalie, right? He has all the confidence in the world going into that game, like being named the starter, and then you yank him. Like, what does that do to his confidence going throughout the season? And really, like, the team's confidence. Like, not having the guy in net behind you can be hard for a defense and an offense and the whole team. So I don't really know what to make of Penn State this year. I think they're good. I think they're super talented. Hunter Aquino's a stud. Kyle Lehman's a stud. They have the guys. I think they just got to put it together. Villanova is a team, you know, similar to Marquette, where they've been just around 500 the last couple of years. You know, it's interesting because Villanova is a good school, right? Kids want to go there. They just really haven't had great teams in the past. They do bring back a couple guys. I'm want to say that Villanova is another like America's team this year and like a team that's going to break out and really take a step forward. I just don't know if I see it, but I do like them covering against Penn State. I think Penn State wins, but I think Villanova makes it close.
Love it. Greg, you get the last one. Some mountain lacrosse here. Air Force at Denver. Denver's a 4.5 goal favorite, 3:00 on Saturday.
The battle for Colorado. I mean, this is a good one. 4.5 is a lot of points for this matchup. I think it's going to be dead on that. I would say if it covers, it's by no more than that half point. I think it's going to be like right on the line. Denver's won 18 in the last 20. So like Denver money line, you'd really be going against the odds to pick Air Force. Now, Air Force did win a couple years ago. It's been getting a lot closer in the last 6 or 7 years than it was in the previous 13. The spreads are tight, and that's clearly what Vegas is seeing with that 5-point line. I think it's spot on. I'm going to give the advantage to the home field. I'm going to go Denver money line, Denver spread, just based on coaching and experience. I think if they do it, they will take it by 5 goals, and that is the max. I think it's going to be really a one to sweat out.
Yeah.
This Denver team this year, man. I mean, after missing the Big East tournament, Denver
Having to
missing
watch
a
it
Big
at home is so sad. I remember that. It was terrible.
And you just think, as good as Denver is, you're always like, all right, this is the year they take down Georgetown and they win the conference back. And to end like that, no one wanted that to happen. But yeah, that's our slate. Those are our 10 games. Those are our picks. We're going to track those and keep track of them all year. Greg, you specifically, man, I want to see your picks for the rest of the game.
196 points inbound or whatever I can earn. 195, whatever it was.
First 195. I think we said if you get that, if you hit that and you were to place a parlay on everything you picked, you wouldn't have to work another day in your life. So just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well throw it in.
Might have to. Throw it on the slate.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We're fired up to be working together all season. This is going to be an awesome opportunity for both East Coast Dies and College Lacrosse Gameday. And for those of you who are curious about playing this game, do it. We just played. That was it. We went into a lot more detail than you need to go into when you're on your phone on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday morning picking these games. But get on there, pick these games. It starts on Friday, so I should say this week you got to pick it before that Friday game starts at 5 o'clock. That's Utah at Duke. So get in there, pick your winners. If you miss it this week, start next week, start a pool with your friends and start playing and enjoy.
And it's worth it. Like what an unbelievable prize. Like I was expecting like a hat or something.
A reminder,
That
go
is-
click the link. Just got to win a couple games. Seafoam Green Ion coming your way.
Click the freaking link.
Yes.
Yep, there will be a ton of content I'll put out, probably like how-tos and other things, but we're going to make sure you guys know exactly how to use it. Get your emails if you are the top of the leaderboard for that week. Make sure you get your prize. But really excited to work with you, Greg, obviously through the season. And I think we got something special, so let's go make it happen.
Yeah, big season coming up, concluding with the bracket challenge and then big Final Four in Charlottesville. See if UVA earns the home game. I'm excited to be on. Looking forward to seeing myself at the top of that national leaderboard because there was already a lot of trash talk in the office because I did not have a good week, so I kind of need that. Yeah. Thanks for having me on,
Greg.
guys. Good luck.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks so
Take
much,
care.
Greg. Great
See you
doing
later.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to Greg from East Coast Dies. Fired up to work with him this season. The one thing I want to ask him is Mike is an old head, and that's not a joke talking about your head. I just mean like you're a defender, and you didn't jump in much during that ECD conversation because I know you just give your head to someone and say go string it, make it good, and then you play with whatever you got. So I wanted to ask for Greg's sell on someone like yourself who's defensive minded, doesn't take a lot of passion in the beauty of stringing and all that stuff, and just see what his sell would be for someone like you.
That would have been a great question for me to ask, but funny enough, Derek Madonna, who used to string my heads at Hobart, said I had the closest string job to a factory strung head he's ever done, and that's how I preferred it. So
We call that out of the box in the software.
There wasn't
world.
much ball handling, just throwing nasty lumber. That's it.
Goose it forward.
Goose it. You were just put it in the crease kind of guy. And make sure everyone stays away type of deal.
Get it out of there. You can cover Jeff Teat and CJ Kurz, but he doesn't want the ball for long. Fans, thank you. Enjoy the games this week. Hopefully no cancellations. Cheers.